Hello, how are you? How you doing? It is Tuesday afternoon. Good afternoon. I figured we would get together again for a little chat and answer some of your questions. So, just figured this is a great time to jump on. Last week, this time of day seemed to be very popular. I guess you guys are all home with your babies, or just it's a good time across the country because we had a lot of people joining us. So just figured we'd do it again and just wait for some people to jump on here so that we can start answering some questions. Oh my goodness, after last Friday, we got some great questions that were put up on my wall, and I want to be able to answer some of them for you. Yes, hi. Okay, here comes everyone. Hi. We're back. We're back. And what I thought was so cool last week was right after our live show, when we were talking about how to use the pump and how to get more volume out of your breast pump using your speed and suction controls. Hey, hi everyone. I got messages from a bunch of you guys saying that you tried what I was saying and it worked. So I'm so happy to see that. And so I guess these chats are working and they're having an impact. And that's exactly what I was hoping, was that this little bit of information is making a difference. So hello, welcome to this nice, beautiful September day. It's beautiful here on the East Coast. I'm in New Jersey, and it's just been like cool. And I don't know about you, but I'm just hot all the time lately, sweating. So it feels so good to have it a little bit cooler. And so, yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for doing this. Thank you guys. I'm happy to do this. I'm so happy you guys are all here. This is wonderful. I love doing it. I love being able to give you the information. So I had a great night last night. I got to tell you a little bit about my night. It was awesome. Joe, my husband, got us tickets to Madison Square Garden to see Louis C.K. and it was so funny. Oh my God. I laughed for like hours last night. So my stomach's hurting a little from cracking up all night, and also I'm a little tired from being out late because I'm usually not. But it was one of the funniest things, and it was great. I don't know how many of you guys love him, but it was actually a really funny show. But that was last night, and this morning, yeah, you love him too. I love him. He was awesome, and he was awesome live, and it was his birthday, and yeah, it was really cool. They don't let you take any video or pictures. He's not into that at all. I saw them kicking people out. They had their cell phones on, and they were actually pulling people out of there. So we took a little shot like right before the show started. I posted it on my Facebook wall, and it was really fun. We had a good time. But yeah, so I'm a little tired today because usually I'm in bed by like 10 o'clock, and we didn't get home till like 12:31. So hi, Sandy. Yeah, you were jealous that I went. Yeah, I wish you were here so we could go together. Next time for sure. But let's do a few of these questions that came in on my wall. And remember that if you have questions that you want to ask me, I mean, I can scroll through and I can answer a few that you guys are asking live, which I will try to do as well. But I also, let's see. I also need to answer some of these that people are posting because they're waiting for their answers. I told them to put it up there. So let's see if we can start with that, and then we'll scroll back through and answer a few of these questions. Okay. So the first question came in from Sierra, and Sierra said, "Love all of your posts. Do you have any thoughts on vaccines? Also, I've only pumped a few times out of fear of diminishing my supply. My son is 2 months and he is as healthy as can be, but will pumping lower my supply?" Let's address her breastfeeding and pumping question, because that's what we're going to do today. The pumping question she's saying is she's a 2-month-old and she's doing great breastfeeding. Everything's going fine. I don't know whether she's already introduced a bottle or not, but she wants to start pumping. I guess to start saving some milk. I don't know if she's going back to work because I don't have enough information from this question. But she's specifically referring to starting to pump while she's breastfeeding, lower her milk supply. And the answer to that is it depends. It depends on how much you are going to be pumping versus breastfeeding. And also, are you using a pump that's effective in removing your breast milk? So if this is going to be like an occasional thing, like what it seems like she's asking is more like an occasional thing, I just want to store up a little bit of milk, will that affect your supply? No, not really. And you could probably even pump while you're nursing on one side. So you're nursing on one breast, maybe first thing in the morning. Oh, Sierra's with us. Oh, great. Perfect, Sierra. Okay, that's excellent. Okay, so you're not going back to work. Yeah, and so if it's just an occasional thing and you're just going to be pumping to store a little bit of milk to like when you go out, it's not going to decrease your supply. You just want to make sure that you continue to breastfeed the way that you've been breastfeeding. I do have a video on my Facebook wall. If you go to videos and then into the playlists, and in that playlist, there's a section called breastfeeding tips. And there's a video I did on, what's it called? It's called pumping while your baby's breastfeeding. So it's like while you're still breastfeeding exclusively, how do you pump extra milk? When do you do it? You know, when's the best time? I would say, like I was saying before, if you latch on one side, like first thing in the morning, and then pump the other side, you're going to get a better letdown. Most times you have more milk than the baby even needs that first thing in the morning. So that's a great time to pump a little extra milk. And I don't think your supply is going to go down at all. If you're trying to skip an entire feeding and pump it out, then just be sure that the pump you're using is effective in removing your milk. Or, as we learned last time we were together, that even if your pump is working well, that you know how to use it so that you know how to get multiple letdowns to completely empty and get all the volume out of the breast, okay? So, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, then go back to Friday's video about how to use your speed and suction controls to maximize volume, because we had some great feedback after that show. I was so excited, like a couple people private messaged me to tell me that it totally made a difference, and actually sent me pictures of their milk. She got 50% more milk. So normally she pumped like, I don't know, 4 ounces, and she was able to pump 6, and she was super excited, doing nothing more than just using her adjustments better. So yeah, so Rose is saying she's pumping one side and feeding the baby on the other side right now. Isn't that the best time? It's just so easy. And and there's one other thing that works that is so great about doing that. Not only is it easier for you, because it's, first of all, time-wise, it's helping with your, time management. You have more free time. It's so much easier to get a letdown with the pump when your baby's actually nursing, because you can be focused on your baby and stimulate those hormones so that the letdown happens easier. Milk's already flowing half the time. You're not wasting it from the other breast. And then the third thing is, when you nurse from both sides at the same time, or pump and nurse, or double pump, like both sides, but you're stimulating and extracting milk from both sides at the same time, it actually tells your body to produce more overall milk moving forward. So each time that you double pump, double feed like twins, okay, or pump and feed at the same time, it tells your body to make more milk. I mean, think about it. Your body is responding to it, going, oh, there must be 2. Right? Think about it. It's getting stimulation to both sides, and it increases overall milk production. So it's actually a really good time to do it. All right. So that was Sierra. Thank you, Sierra. I'm so glad that you were able to join us. Sometimes I can't catch you to be able to tell you to watch live, but there you were. So that was fantastic. Okay. Let's move on to the next question here. This one came in from... let's see. This came in from Ashley. It's a little bit of a long question, so I'm going to read it, okay? Ashley said, what advice do you have for someone dealing with poor latch despite trying everything else? My son is now 5 weeks. We had a tongue and lip tie revision at 3 weeks old. I still do not get a deep latch and get lipstick nipples every time. Horrible. Okay. I have tried every type of hold, sandwiching the breast, waiting for him to open wide. The IBCLC I've been seeing says I'm doing everything right on my end, and that from the outside, his latch looks great. and he may just need to get bigger. This is extremely frustrating answer when I'm in pain and things don't seem to be getting better. I started using a nipple shield about a week ago, and although it seems to help, I don't feel like he's transferring milk as efficiently, and I feel like it's only a temporary fix. I'd be appreciative if there's any insight I could give. Okay, I'm so sorry, Ashley, that you've been dealing with so many issues. It's so hard when you first start breastfeeding, and I've seen a lot of you posting about this too, where, you know, I talk about normal a lot, and I talk about, you know, the normal physiology of breastfeeding and how we're made to breastfeed and we're made to make milk and all these things. And that's absolutely true for the majority of people. And then there are people who are going to have a difficult time. And, you know, that's not to say that you can't breastfeed. It's just that you're going to need extra support. And it seems like pretty much everybody needs a little something. Okay. So it doesn't come simple to anybody. It's about sticking with it and finding the right support. So I'm glad that you posted your question, because I think maybe, there could be some things I can support you with. First of all, your baby is 5 weeks old. I don't know from your question here if your baby was born on time, but it seems like you had the tongue and the lip revision at 3 weeks old. I don't know who you worked with to do that, but it could be that your baby possibly needs some suck training. If the suck was not good, if the baby did have a tongue tie and a lip tie, baby could use some suck training. So even though we fix the issue, we're not fixing the latch. And what that means is the way that the baby is protruding their tongue, the way the baby's sucking on the breast. You may want to see like a speech pathologist for that. They can help with that. But I think that there's something that needs to, or even your IBCLC, make sure that they're checking your baby's suck and helping you to retrain sucking with their finger. It's something that you can do to help retrain the suck. And so that may be something that is necessary. The other thing, and typically this is what I see, even with the great latch, okay, and this is actually one of the, when I, in my Simply Breastfeeding class, I go over latch and position at the breast. And one of the things that I teach is that the baby needs to be so close to the breast, okay, that their nose is actually touching the breast. Okay, so when they're coming to the breast, they have to not only have a wide mouth, not only have to have, you know, the nipple in the mouth, but the nipple needs to be way back in the baby's mouth. And then the baby needs to be kind of smushed into your breast. Now, in order to do that and still have the baby breathing, the baby's head needs to come to the breast. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this. The baby's breast needs to come to the breast on an angle so that their head, their chin is lifted up, and they're smushed in to where their nose is touching. When their head is angled like that, you can really, really pull them in, which means that kind of opens the mouth more. It prevents that clamping down, that the baby's sucking right on the nipple. And you're not going to be as afraid to smush the baby into your breast because the baby can breathe. All right. So there's a lot of reasons. Not only that, the baby can swallow. So that angle of the head is super important. I don't know have any of you guys watched my class and remember this and have used the technique that I'm talking about bringing the baby to the breast, and then I talk about eyes looking at the elbow, because I'm showing you how to hold your breast with one hand, bring your baby to the breast with the other hand, and then their head looking up so that their eyes are looking at your other elbow. Anybody taking the class and know what I'm talking about? If you're there, say yes. Give me a little thumbs up and say, yes, I've seen it. But that would be a really good place to start. Everybody has different ways and techniques that they teach about how to latch and position, and that's mine. So I think that it could be that the baby's just not close enough to the breast. Also, as far as your nipple shield, nipple shields work fine as long as the baby's able to transfer. So you can read things about how it can decrease supply, but it seems like you did that with your lactation consultant. Hopefully, even with a nipple shield, you still need that right position. So if the baby's head is like down like this coming to the breast, they're not transferring well. They need to lead with their jaw, their lower jaw. They need to lead with their tongue, not their upper jaw. And they need to keep their head up so they can breathe and so they can swallow. All right, so that's a very important thing. If you haven't seen my class, it's not too late. You're only 5 weeks into it. I would recommend my Simply Breastfeeding class for that latching and positioning. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see if I can find something here. Let's see. I'm trying to see if any of you guys have a question that I could answer directly right here. It's so hard to scroll through, and because some of you guys are answering other questions, so these are not exactly questions. Let's see. Okay. So Farina, hi. Okay, she's saying 6 months in, I'm still getting horrible plug ducts and blebs. I will get as many as 5 to 7 a week. I'm sick of devoting my whole day to juicing my boob. Yeah, juicing your boob. Not a good thing. Okay, so the plug ducts. Couple things. One is there are reasons why people get plug ducts that are more mechanical or positional issues. And so let's address that first. One is that if you're not emptying the breast during the feedings completely, you can have plugs that will start to form. What I would recommend is right before you're feeding, make sure you're feeling the breast for any plugs, and during the feeding, massage pretty vigorously or like deeply on the area where you feel any kind of lumps, so that the milk starts to flow from that area. And if you do that consistently, they're not going to plug up too much. It's better to catch it right at the beginning, then it doesn't progress into mastitis and other things. As far as the plugs, like depending on the positioning of it, sometimes not wearing bras that don't fit you properly, I would say that's probably the number one reason I see for plug ducts is like underwire bras, underwire nursing bras, or bras that are not fit properly. Specifically underwire, especially some people just in the beginning and then later on in the year they're able to do it, but some people, they can't wear underwire the entire time they're nursing. Why? Because the wire doesn't change size or shape, but your breasts do from feeding to feeding. So it might fit fine like right after you fed the baby, but then if you're right at the end, like about to feed, your breast is now full, and that wire is going to be digging into the side of your breast. So if you're getting a lot of plugs here on the side of the breast, that could be part of the reason why that's happening. So I would get away from the underwire bras or tight fitting bras. Second, the other thing too is look at how you're sleeping. If you're sleeping on one side a lot or on your stomach, that could be putting pressure and causing the plugs. And the other thing is sometimes people have what's considered like thicker milk. So the milk is just thicker and can have more of a tendency to have plugs. And something like soy lecithin is a supplement that you can take that can sort of thin out the viscosity of the milk so that it makes it less thick and it has less of a tendency to clog up. So there's a lot of information out there about that. You can read about it, but that may be something you want to consider if it's happening 5 to 7 times in a week. You're either wearing the wrong bra or maybe you need the supplement. I hope that helps you. Let's see if she answered me here because I was reading that. Yes, hi, yay. Yes, I see you there. Okay, hopefully that works. Okay, so let's go back to the questions here on my wall. There was a lot here. Okay, Rachel asked, how long before a baby stops cluster feeding at night? My son is 4 months old and has to be attached to me. She's basically writing all night. It's exhausting. Okay. Does anybody know the answer to this question? Is anybody else dealing with cluster feeding at night, baby sleeping at night? I mean, baby not sleeping at night, baby awake at night and eating all night? Because at 4 months old, that could be normal. That could just be when your baby wants to eat. It's very hard to just get them to stop. Okay. Let's see. I hope that doesn't bump me up. Oh, okay. It kept working. Let me put this into a different mode here so that doesn't happen again, because the last time